91 minutes. Bafana barricaded history. 92, Canada came calling. But heartbreak was never going to be the whole story of this World Cup for South Africa. Because somewhere between the gang-scarred streets of Bishop Lavis and the barefoot pitches of Shlushluwe, this country quietly, unmistakably found its future.
Los Angeles, late on a Sunday, and South Africa stand 90 minutes from history. They defend like devils. They defend like it's the only thing they've ever known. And then, in one stolen stoppage time second, Stefan Esquartio ends it. Bafana did not lose the World Cup that night. They simply ran out of time to finish telling it. Welcome to the other half. You'll notice one thing's different. There's no flag.
Yeah.
The reckoning came. Jayman, will you present us with a flag? In memorandum. And so we lay Bafana's hopes and dreams and a nation's hopes and dreams to rest.
We salute you.
Rest in power. Yeah. I mean, what can I say?
It's okay. It can be grouped with us because they passed the group stages.
Yeah. Look, what was our expectation going into this? I don't think a lot of people gave us a chance beyond the group stage. I mean, we spoke in the last episode. I don't know, the people on this podcast were saying 80%, 75% confidence South Africa's going to beat Canada, which wasn't ridiculous to think. I said 65. And I mean, it was literally 92 minutes. For 90 minutes, they defended like devils. And then let it all work out.
But look, let's be real now, no? I don't think. Oh, I said it so nicely the other day. Here we might have a bit of a debate. I don't think we deserved to win on the day, but neither did Canada. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they beat us with a sucker punch.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're going to spend 90 minutes not scoring a goal, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Like, you are open to being beaten by a sucker punch. Because it's your own fault for not scoring in the previous 90 minutes.
And I mean, that was the question from the beginning of the podcast, from the beginning of the World Cup. Do we have the finishers? Are they going to put away when it matters?
Yeah, like you said, we spoke about that from the beginning. What I did like is, if you look at we played 4 games. Wow, I don't think we expected to play 4 games.
We should probably played 4 different formations. Did you notice?
No, we only played 3 at the back, and we played 4-2-3-1. But what I want to say is,
this game was 5 at the back, and then we played.
No, then they went 4-2-3-1,
and then they went 4-4-2.
Yeah, without the ball 4-4-2. But what I want to say is, there was a lot of rotation in front. The defense never rotated. There was rotation in front. Uncle didn't know what to do with Foster. He didn't know what to do with Reyners. He didn't know what to do with Moremi. Yeah, it was a bit messy. So we needed goals to come from somewhere.
I don't think they were a bit messy.
Yeah, if only it was messy. So it was. I mean, Apollos a lot of the times looked like he was the only attacking threat, and I say that only because he's the only one that ended up just taking shots outside of the box, and most of them were on target.
And wasn't Apollos like a second choice in the beginning?
Yeah, that's the thing. He came off the bench, I think, in the first game. I don't think he started. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, we had our only shot on target in the 6th minute, and we didn't have another one. Shot count was 6 to Canada's 12. 1 on target to Canada's 7. Yeah, our XG was 0.13, and Canada's was 1.3. So look, And again, also from Canada's point of view, that they deserve to win. They got a lucky goal with an
Mm.
XG of 1.3. They should have scored more goals.
But look, to be fair, right? Here's how XG was less,
No way.
was nowhere, right? I remember watching this game, and I still said, it was shortly before the goal came, and I said, you know what's happening here? Towards the end, we were pushing for the win, but we were playing such a high line. And I literally said, I remember saying it to my mother-in-law, do you see this? That they're doing this 3 at the back now, right? Which is opening them up, and our defense wasn't so lekker at that point in time. So they're opening themselves up. And I said, just beware if there's a counter attack or something. We're going to be all over the show.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, the counter attack wasn't even the problem, it was a poor
It
clearance.
was a poor clearance. So once again, it goes back to certain players. Yes, Brother Williams, you were nominated as a Ballon d'Or
It
Ballon
was
d'Or
there.
option. But I don't think you did lekker in this World Cup. I think you were the biggest problem
No.
in the defense.
I don't think Rahman was the problem. I think the instructions in the game plan Rahman got was the problem.
You don't think he made the wrong
No.
decisions?
No. I think it was the wrong decisions, but it wasn't his decisions. He was told to do that, and the defenders were told to do that. They were told to play like that. They were told to pass back to him the whole time. Do you know how many times I wanted to scream? You know how many times Rahman got the ball, then he goes high right.
Yeah.
Do you think our winger on that right side won one of those aerial balls? After the first 3 times that your guy doesn't win the header against his defender, then you keep again and again. What did they think was going to happen? Were they waiting for the defender to maybe slip after the 10th time?
I don't know, dude.
And we didn't have that hold-up player. Fair enough if you have someone that can ping it long, get the flick on header, and let the runners get it the second.
But it wasn't.
But that wasn't happening. So I don't blame individuals. I blame the strategy.
Okay. Because I'm just saying this because a lot of their mistakes came from slip-ups at the back.
Yeah. Look, in the last 2 games, there weren't that many slip-ups. The first 2 games were dodged, especially the Mexico game. But yeah, I don't know what the plan was. My thing is, when you look at Bafana playing, especially against Canada, we were playing like we were 3-0 lead.
We were playing not to lose.
Yeah, but we were playing like we had nowhere to be. We were playing like we're going for a Sunday drive.
We were playing like we made it, because we made it out of the
and you can't
group stage.
and you
So we
can't
felt like we made it.
Yeah, and you can't go into a World Cup with that attitude. You have something to prove every single game. So yeah, I mean, Rahman broke the record. I don't know if you should be proud of this record, but most successful passes by a goalkeeper since Manuel Neuer, the sweeper keeper. So my man, our goalkeeper had 77 completed passes.
Wow,
That's Xavi Iniesta numbers.
that's more than Lau Foster.
Lau Foster only played 77 minutes all World Cup. Oh. I just want to say I don't have a problem with Lau Foster. I know it comes across that way. I don't love Foster. In case you're watching this, I don't know you. You did nothing to me. I have no problem with you, sir.
No. I'm also all good. Tell us how the championship's going.
Yeah, so that was Uncle Bruce's last game, and the players are saying, I think there was an interview with Rahman where he said that they want Bruce to stay because they have unfinished business in AFCON.
He's going. I heard there's a lot. There's a lot on the plate. I think Peter Brady's also there again.
Who? Is this one of your dad jokes?
Whose name sounds like Peter Bread? Peter
Bread.
We need Pitso Mosimane now. You can see that man has a plan.
Pitso Mosimane.
There we go.
Wow, Liam. Yeah, Pitso's name's been thrown out there. I mean, someone who could do that on club level. Ons kyk maar. Ons kyk maar. But yeah, I mean, one nice thing about the World Cup is people who come to prominence, like players that weren't in the limelight before, players whose backstories didn't necessarily know. So yeah, we thought at the suggestion of our co-creative director, there was a suggestion that we actually look at some of the backstories. So we're going to look at two backstories from two of the Bafana lads.
Okay, so the first one is Osman Apollos. So he grew up in Bishop Lavis on the Cape Flats. His father was allegedly a known gangster. And how he came out of that path, a lot of credits goes to his grandmother and his mother for keeping him on the right track. He was released to SuperSport United, I think. Spent months without the club and was close to giving up, which is like a lot of players, I think, in South Africa. And then the same coach who later helped our goalkeeper, Ronman Williams, called him back and took him to, I don't know how to pronounce.
Victoria Callies. That's Kwanele Kopo is the coach.
Yeah. So basically, he was brought back, right?
Back
And-
into football after that stint, yeah. Because I mean, his mother told him there's nothing at home for him. Like,
Yeah.
you must look around at the guys in the street, and that he's gonna end up like them. He must just pick up the phone and reach out to people, and then Kopo it basically took him out of that situation again.
Yeah, and then he came back in the 2025-2026 season at Orlando Pirates. 12 goals, 9 assists. Not too bad. And at the World Cup, can we say that he was one of Bafana's most consistent attacking midfielders?
I think so.
He played all the matches. He didn't have 90 minutes necessarily across all the matches, but I think he is one of the players who
He was the glimmer of hope in terms of attack.
And since the tournament, FC Porto have reportedly offered around 70 more, but yeah, 70 more, 74
70 more million.
yeah, which is equivalent to 8 million pounds.
4 million
Sorry, what did I say?
euros.
Must make the numbers so man, I can't. I'm seeing 400.
The euro sounds looking like I to you. So yeah, Porto reportedly offered 4 million, which is very decent for a South African player.
Mm.
And it's not the Premier League where prices start at 100. But yeah, and I mean, I think I mentioned it in one of the very early episodes that the World Cup was that opportunity where players get to prove themselves and they literally get to put themselves on the world map. Like
Quick fast.
Porto's people weren't watching him at Pirates. Maybe they were, but they took notice of him now because of the World Cup.
And the transfer window is opening.
Yeah. I mean, and we have players going to Belgium now and all kinds of things. So yeah, the World Cup's been good for the guys as individuals. And then I think the most the standout player for me in the World Cup, and I didn't realize he's so young because he
was older.
Yeah, he's like the South African Pau Kubasi. You know the Spanish War? Yeah, the Spanish War.
I can't believe you referred to him, but okay.
Mbokazi. What can we say? This guy stole hearts all around the world. 20 years old. He's the youngest player in the squad from Hlulwe in KZN. And he grew up playing barefoot on community pitches. I mean, that's so like cliche, but I mean, it's reality.
Yeah.
Like you look at Sia Kolisi as well, and I'm sure many other players. Yeah, sometimes you forget that's how a lot of South Africans grow up. So yeah, as a teenager, his personality almost kept him back because he was a shy child as a teenager. And
He was not shy on the pitch.
no, he's not. He's definitely not shy anymore. So, apparently his uncle stepped in and basically forced the issue and pushed him. And he signed for Amazulu on a 3-day trial. And then someone sent his details to Pirates. So his first team debut came in 2024 for Pirates. So he's only been playing
For like,
top level football for 2 years.
sure.
He signed in December 2024. He became his captain in 2025, the youngest in Pirates history since 2002. And he got the name TLB, Tractor Loader and Backhoe.
Hectic.
TLB, that's how the Americans name. So December last year, he was sold to Chicago Fire in the States.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
You.
so he plays for Chicago Fire. We went for a fee of 3 million USD, which is 55 million rand. And he was named in the MLS All-Stars team, and it was fan voted. He got more votes than Messi from the fans for the MLS team of the season. Yeah, so at the World Cup, he just stepped up. 30 clearances across 4 matches. Tied third most winning player at the tournament. Level with who?
PVD.
Big Verge. 91% pass accuracy against Canada. And a match-saving clearance in the 65th minute. That was crazy. Yeah, our defenders made a lot of passes. And they made a lot of accurate passes. Yeah, so Uncle Bruce and Dronman went out of their way to praise him in the interviews after the tournament. So, yeah, but now you look at it, the story, Koppo, that coach, he played an instrumental role in both of their careers.
What's that? Koppo.
Koppo
Them both.
Koppo them both. Like Oswin from Lavis and Mbukazi from KZN.
Both through Pirates. Yo, Koppo alleen.
Yeah, he Koppo in the line. So, wow, what a story. So, yeah, always interesting to see the story behind the player. I think it makes you appreciate the player more, but
No, definitely.
still, I still get upset at him. Like sometimes you forget the backstory. They catch on nonsense on the field. You don't care about their life
Nah.
and their granny and their auntie and their uncle. Like, I don't care who your uncle was. They spill nonsense.
Your aunt is not the reason you play so.
Yeah, you're actually disappointing your auntie and Koppo. So, yeah. So, it's time for a fan favorite. Actually, we don't know if it's a fan favorite. Let us know in the comments below if this is a fan favorite. And for those of you who aren't subscribed,
Don't touch. Actually, do touch that dial.
touch that dial.
It's been a while.
Touch the dial. Like, you keep watching this stuff and you're enjoying it. If you're still watching, you haven't subscribed. Let's be real with each other. It's free. Come on. So, it's time for the Aita, as I call it. Aitada. Am I the a-hole?
Am I the asshole for missing a family thing for a football/soccer cup final? I did have my answer, but
I
okay.
also have an answer. Yeah.
Hi.
It's the first one of these things that starts with hi. At least this person has manners.
Nah,
There's so much
this
stuff with their life story.
This person didn't know what go here on. They didn't know.
This is
They
the
must
first
have-
one. This is
the first one.
Yeah. Shout out
Anyway.
to you.
Hi.
Just you are well. Justice Reddit finds you well.
I've been following this football/soccer team my entire life, and I've never seen them win a major trophy.
What team is it?
USA.
Spurs.
Arsenal.
I'm not allowed to talk about Arsenal on the internet anymore.
I've been with my partner for 8 years, and she's
Why
away.
are the people on this thing never married? Maybe it's because they put me on here. That's why they're not married. How many scenarios have we had none of the people are married? Anyway, sorry for interrupting.
Maybe it's a case of, I tell you what, no, I'm gonna propose to you when we win the Premier League.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I've been with my partner for 8 years, and she's aware of how much this means to me. I do want to note that I'm more than happy to miss out on any other game and often record games or miss out entirely for every other game of the season. However, this season we are in a final. Oh,
Wait, when was this posted?
yeah, just
1 year ago. Who can that be? It's not the Arsenal.
sounds like Spurs.
It sounds like Spurs. Maybe it's an MLS team. Anyway.
Could be, you never know. However, this season we are fine in a final day. What in the final the day before my mother and father-in-law go on holiday, that we organize for them to go to New York. We had previously agreed to go to the hotel with them to see them off the day before, but I never anticipated that my team would get into the final. This is an MLS team now. Sounds like Inter Miami. I've expressed to my partner that this could be one of the biggest days of not only following this team, but also in my life, as I've never seen them win a final and want to do it the right way if it happens. She's suggested watching it on my phone or recording it, but honestly won't feel the same. And I know that I will be miserable / thinking of it the whole day if I don't watch it to go to the hotel. We'd had conversation about this at the shop, and when we got back, she'd clearly taken it badly, as she told her mum straight away. I feel like I've been thrown under the bus by my partner without giving it time for me to settle on this or think about it. And it's made me anxious, as I'd never want to disappoint or upset my mother-in-law.
Good luck.
Half my problem is that she knows I get anxious, and it sometimes stops me from even going downstairs if I feel like my mother-in-law is annoyed.
Hy's bang.
I'm not sure if I'm being the asshole here, if I was to stay at home or go out to watch the final instead of going to the hotel with them to see them off.
I have so many questions. Liam, go.
There's just so much happening here. Look, dude. I think you're playing with this thing as if like you don't care, but you really do. You care too much about your in-laws. Okay, you should care about your in-laws. But I do understand the thing of if it's the first time that your team is making it to a final. Come on. She's only your partner.
Yeah, clearly you aren't planning on getting married because you've been together for 8 years. You've known her and her mother for 8 years and you're still scared of her mother. Clearly the lady don't like him. You know why she don't like you? Is because you still haven't married their daughter. Lay by. I lay by for 8 jaar.
If you had married the
Paint us
daughter,
now.
they would have taken you to the stadium.
I have a lot of questions. One,
Let's go.
why is he still scared of his mother-in-law? Two, they're gonna go see them off at the hotel. Maybe they have a cup of coffee or something. What time is the game and what time are they at the hotel? Can't you do both?
Clearly not. You know what they sound like? They sound like all these people that want to watch on the phone. Like that other girl who slammed the door because her dad is watching TV.
Oh yeah. They're
Um,
probably family.
Yeah, because you don't want to watch on the phone.
Look, I can't relate to my team not being in a final forever. My team does finals often. So
What, bruh? Stop making it about yourself, please. Stop. Just stop.
am I the Aita now?
Yeah, I think you are.
I'm trying to compare and I'm saying
Fine.
I can't relate to my team not being in the final for so long. But let me say, if this was me,
Him saying this more and more doesn't sound any better. I can't relate. Jayman, know your place, please. You're behind the scenes.
you see, if I
There's a reason why the people, when you're in the concert, the people by the curtains, they must wear black. You mustn't be seen and you mustn't be heard. So leave United because
I can tell you the last final they were in was Europa League final. But they beat PSG. And they beat
At least
Barcelona. They beat Barcelona without Pedri. Anyway, so
At least we can afford our players.
so they've been I think it's very Spotify. So he's been with his partner for 8 years. Brother, one, you don't have to be at the hotel the whole day. Two, if you are at the hotel, watch it on your phone. Three, I'm sure the hotel has a downstairs area and a bar and a restaurant and stuff. You can watch it there on the TV also. You don't have to sit and look into your mother-in-law's eyes the whole time that you're there. It's also going to look rude if he like leaves though.
That sounds
How long does it take to see someone off at the hotel? They organized the holiday for them. They already did a favor. Now you must also make nice chattas there with them before they leave. Why? She wants to see her parents. She can must go. You can vice ID.
okay. Bye.
Auntie,
See you
uncle,
later.
enjoy the holiday.
Don't be so.
Yeah,
I got somewhere to go to.
yeah,
He's bang, yeah.
he's bang.
He's bang for the auntie.
He's bang for his partner also.
But now where's the data?
Luckily, there's a strong woman in this family.
Hmm.
Very strong willed woman in this family. Derek kan niks sê nie, papi gaan nie saam nie. Papi gaan nie saam nie. So like you didn't see he's even scared to go downstairs if his mother-in-law's there in case
Yeah,
she's
what
upset.
what go on there, bro?
Then so he's not hostage. One is they live, I assume they live together. I feel like the mother-in-law's the problem here.
Was she coming but strong?
I think she's coming in a bit strong, but I also think that this guy needs to take the bull by the horns.
What if she supports like another club that's a rivalry or something?
Nah, this lady don't sound like someone who watches football.
How do you know?
So I would have gotten along better if she watched football. Yeah. People los die dinge or get married. Leave this in between.
Those the partnerships. Partnerships is for marketing
And for business.
and for business. Nah? It's business or pleasure. Okay?
Ja, los die partner dinge. Ek spesifiek my partner, this could be one of the biggest days. But also in my life. Can't die manne nog nie propose nie.
Mm-mm.
I
I
was
said it, babes.
like your wedding could be the biggest day of your life, but clearly you aren't getting married. Nou, die man lei baie lank. Pages now. Payflix. Anyway, moving along. Am I the AO for giving my brother the opportunity of attending the World Cup and giving it to my BFF instead?
Wait, what?
For giving my brother the opportunity of attending the World Cup and giving it. So you give the opportunity. As you all know, the FIFA World Cup is around the corner. This was 4 years ago. This was previous World Cup. Because World Cup every 4 years.
Yeah,
see,
except for the the after COVID thing.
Don't confuse me even more.
Okay.
As you know, the FIFA World Cup is around the corner. So everyone in my city and my family is super excited about attending wherever they can afford it. You see, that's the most important thing. You can afford it. About 2 weeks ago, my phone provider guys said they were going to make a giveaway to like 10 people to attend the World Cup, including accommodation and all of that. I, 20F female, never actively wanted to win the giveaway, but to win it, you have to buy credit, which I usually do in large quantities since I burn out mine pretty fast. That's airtime for South African audience. But to my surprise, I got a phone call from the phone company on the 28th of September saying that I was lucky enough to get a ticket and said that I could either get it for myself or give it away for someone else if I'm not willing to claim it. What kind of competition is this?
Yeah.
Is it like take the ticket and double it and give it to the next person? What kind of competition is that?
It sounds like a Dream Boys move, eh?
Yeah, Dream Boys, that you? That you, Dream Boys? Now, I'm a big football fan, but unfortunately, because of engineering. You see us again, those people. Now, I'm a big football fan, but unfortunately, because of engineering college exams and my job, I can't take on the opportunity as much as I wanted to. I don't even want to read further.
You must postpone.
So I told the agent that I'm going to pick someone else to give it to and reach back to them on this phone number or email. They said it was cool as long as I don't take too long because the tickets are already on high demand. I had a list of people to give. The first person was my brother, Adam, 27, male. And the second was my best friend, Jack, 20, male. Both are huge fans and would be ecstatic to attend. So it's the brother v. Jack Grealish, the best friend.
Mm.
And she's 19 F, eh? She's 20 F.
Mm. Oh, that's twins. No, sorry.
No, Jack's
So
20.
Jack's twin.
Yeah, it's a big brother, Adam.
Mm.
Both are huge
Akadama.
fans and will be ecstatic to attend. I made the biggest mistake of my life and told my family about this in a state of happiness, but never said I'm going to give it to Adam as a surprise. Well, to say I was shocked would be a lie, but Adam convinced our entire family, including our grandparents, that it was so unfair that I, a nerd, much less a woman, got this once in a lifetime opportunity while he was struggling to land a job and is living with my parents.
Ayadama.
And he said I don't deserve it anyway since he's the one who taught me about football. True. And it should have been him. He and my parents have been breathing down my neck for the past 3 days or so. I'm not going to read further. You see,
No, I'm done. I'm done.
that is what parents do. He's older than I. That is what parents do. When you have a 27-year-old Willie Weker, but I see life owes him something. His sister is working. His sister is going to college. She's doing engineering school. All of that. She put in effort to win something. Now, oh, poor Boetie at home.
You must
Boetie.
give it to him.
Give it to Boetie.
Mm. Nee, jong. Som upset.
And then who's the most upset? The parents. Because they cover for Adam.
Mm.
That's why Adam is sitting there at home. Willie Weker. Parents. I'm a parents.
You're the problem.
I'm a parent. Here, my parents have been breathing down my neck for the past 3 days or so, demanding I give him the ticket and never participate. And never participate in male-dominated activities again. What in the south of America is this?
What going on?
I told him to F off and basically gave the ticket to Jack, who was overjoyed and he almost started crying when I broke down the news to him. I haven't told Adam or my family about it, and they keep harassing me about the topic, so I can't help but feel guilty for not giving it to my brother. Don't you dare feel guilty.
No.
You pick up your chin, you lift up your head,
You say
pick
no.
up your chin, and you stand your ground. Jy het vir Adam gespoil. Adam
I have
said,
so many fields.
Liam, let at it.
Let it all. One, can we go back to this before we even talk about the parentals? Do you remember from previous ATAs, what is it with this thing of I've shown you, female, I've taught you about football.
Oh, then you're now entitled.
Now you're
oh,
entitled-
yeah.
You
Oh,
owe me.
I
You
taught
must-
you football, so you must support my team.
Yeah. Like,
Men, I tell you.
what is wrong with you guys? Come on, man.
Men, we need to do better. Look at me, I'm talking to you. Men, we need to do
You
better.
that bro who teaches her how to play fantasy and then she beats you. Now you're quiet.
That's hurt. That's hurt.
It
That's hurt.
hurts a bit.
But it is what it is.
And to the parents,
I'm a parent.
what go on? Eh? How are you entertaining this behavior? How are you putting your daughter down? I would think that you don't want that like the in us. Give him every opportunity to go at.
Where is that stick about the dam now?
But Adam convinced our entire family, that one, including our grandparents.
It was so unfair that I, a nerd, much as a woman. How can you be sexist and unemployed? Pick one, buddy.
Yeah.
This is that. The world owes me something.
Mhm.
The world owes me something, and the world's giving everything to my sister, and they give me nothing to me. woe is me. And the parents back and enable that behavior. Adam is like a friend with other Bobby. That's scared of his mother-in-law. I feel like Adam and that guy hangs out together.
But well done, Sister Girl, for saying, you know what, he must
Just to go stand your ground. I can tell you now, there's going to be proper comments on this thing.
Do you know what I would have done? If it was like an actual ticket, right? I would have torn up in front of him. Anyway, let's go to the comments. This is just upsetting me. Everyone's saying not that.
He doesn't deserve a ticket after that behavior. It's your ticket, you're free to give it to your want. Your brother isn't entitled to it. He was rude behind your back and thinks you don't deserve it. Well, I think he's the one who doesn't deserve anything.
Has your family always been so sexist?
Very valid. You could have asked you politely, but he chose to be petty. You're right to give it to your BFF who will really appreciate and enjoy it. Adam lost out by being such an immature turd. I agree.
I almost said something now, but it's a PG show.
It is a PG show.
I can't even make the gesture right now.
Yeah, don't. Don't reward bad behavior. Goodness.
Yeah, everyone's in agreement.
Yeah, and here's Sister Girl. What's her name? 20F.
20F.
20F, 21.
You're winning this one.
Yeah, you're winning this one, 21. 21 love. Yeah, Adam. We don't have time
but I'm just thinking now a bit further, right? She's 20. Huh? Jax is at 20.
She and Jack's koppeling. She and Jack's koppeling.
That's the main thing. Jack is makkelijk what you call it, friends with Adam.
You think Jack and Adam know each other?
And Adam is quiet.
I don't think Jack and Adam know each other. I don't think Adam gets out the house much. I don't think he makes much friends. If you live with your parents, you don't work, you don't study, your circle of influence is small.
I guess so.
You go to church.
You say unless you go to church. Oh, I thought you said.
Or karaoke nights with your friends.
Would you pay your employee extra to almost make target?
That is an interesting question. And that's a question we are posing to Sports Minister Guyton ons Baizani McKenzie.
Will you be giving them bonuses?
I must. This team must get a bonus. Yeah, thank you, Minister.
So,
if you don't know, Aaron's going to take us through.
Mr. Baiza McKenzie has promised an escalating bonus through the knockouts. 5 million for beating South Korea to reach round of 32, and a promised 10 million rand if they beat Canada. Would have been 15 million then.
So just to confirm, is this what or is this from the tournament?
No, this is separate from what FIFA gives.
Hey,
this is in
come
addition.
on, man.
This is on top. So Bafana's getting what they're getting for making it as far as they did, as all the other countries do. This is coming now from ons Baizani.
Because as far as I think, we must just fact check this one, Jayman. I think every team you get about, let's work on 10 mil. And that's not rand, eh?
It's dollars.
Just for getting into the World Cup. And for every
stage you make pass, you get something else.
Another 10 to 15. Anyway, I'm just going to upset myself here.
Yeah, so this escalating bonus stopped because the Bafana lost to Canada. So Bafana arrived back home yesterday. McKenzie said that the 5 million knockout bonus still stands. He said this team must get the bonus. We've been discussing that. As of the homecoming, it was still a promise. It's not confirmed yet. On top of that, FIFA itself is paying out South Africa and SAFA are set to receive around 222 million rand in total prize money for reaching the round of 32, made up of 155 million rand to SAFA and 66 million rand spread across the 23-man squad, working out to about 1.6 million per player.
I just want to
Want to add something there?
yeah. So this is from Jamin over here. So if you winning the World Cup earns the champions about 50 mil, and I think you have to work your way down. So the runners up takes 33 mil. In third place is 29 mil. Fourth place is 27. Reaching the quarterfinals is 19 mil. Round of 16 is 15 mil. Round of 32 was 11 mil. That was close, eh? Yeah. And group stage elimination is 9 mil. So either way, you're getting something.
Yeah, and remember the numbers that Liam's mentioning here is USD. And I'm talking in Rand here. So remember from SAFA, or from FIFA, sorry, the total is 222 million Rand. This is Rand. 155 goes to SAFA, 66 million goes to the players, split across the 23-man squad, 1.6 million per player.
How many G-Wagons are you going to see now?
Before SARS takes a share. Now the question is, did they earn it?
Hence the question in the beginning, are you going to pay
your employee for almost making target? Now that is the question. What was Bafana's target? Some would say they achieved their target by making it through the group stage.
No, I don't think they had the goal sets conversation.
What was Bafana's KPIs?
I don't think they knew that. They just knew, okay, I'm joining this company for the first, this big company.
And you've done better than
the previous.
Expected it. And better than the previous times. That brings back to the question, what was Bafana's target? Because you're saying they're getting paid for almost making target, but now what was the target? What was the expectation? Did they have a goal-setting expectation conversation with the manager?
I don't think so. I think it was just like a motive. You know, there's different types of leadership, right? There's A, B, C, and D. You know, all the way from motivation all the way to autocratic type of things. And I feel like
PTSD, please.
Hugo Bruce sounds as if he's motivational type B-style leadership.
I don't know, but he's just go out and do your best.
Yeah, that's
go out and do your best.
Go do your best.
They didn't have a set target.
Yeah. Because essentially, I mean, they were singing, but every game was just a let's rejoice. It was never, I never saw any moment where I feel like they were angry of the result. You know, there's some teams that even
annoying,
there's some teams that even if they win or scrape through whatever,
they're upset.
They're upset.
If they lose a clean sheet, they're upset.
Yeah.
But you know why? Our expectations, some of our expectations were so low for Bafana. I think they had the same low expectations for themselves. That's why the first game, the moment got to the head because they were like, oh gosh, we made it. And then the other game when it mattered, the moment was too big against Canada because we've never been this far. We've never been this far. It's a big moment. Guys, don't worry if you lose. We've never made it this far. At least you made it this far.
I mean, you're getting 9 mil just for the group stages.
Where do you get 9 mil from?
$9 million.
Oh. Can you talk in rand, please?
Oh, sorry. I don't know what that conversion is.
Anyway. So, the thing is, Uncle Bison, he said this. You said it live on TV, in the dressing room and at the airport. He said, it's from the department, from me. And sponsors weren't exactly lined up yet that we know of. So where is this money coming from? Now here's my thing. Juxtapose this with Athletics South Africa. So McKinsey has publicly said that Athletics South Africa's own financial mismanagement is a problem. He said that some athletes pay their own way to events while ASA swipes credit cards and liquor stores. In April 2026, the Parliamentary Sports Committee recommended dissolving the ASA board after the federation failed to pay winners of its own sanctioned marathons in Soweto and Mpumalanga, warning the federation is on the verge of collapse. ASI can't pay the athletes. We have South African athletes who can't be paid. Juxtapose that with netball in South Africa, even worse.
So what's the issue here?
Yeah, look, the Proteas who previously represented the contract that Proteas who previously represented the country had no contract at all. A 66 million rand lottery grant meant for netball court infrastructure is under investigated for maladministration. Now, in December 2025, Sports Department redirected 62 million away from smaller federation, including rowing, taekwondo, fencing, squash, handball, weightlifting, all of that, to help fund VAR in South Africa. Treasury rejected that move. So now, on the one hand, we're paying Bafana millions for getting kicked out at the round of 32.
But we're not rewarding.
Our netball players can't be paid. We have athletes that qualify for competitions overseas.
We'll actually make it further.
We'll make it further, and they have to pay their own transport. There's school athletes that from on provincial and national level that have to have fundraisers. Do you know how many fundraisers and stuff? I see parents that have to sell stuff to get their kids to go to competitions and stuff. These guys got knocked out of a competition apart from the money FIFA's giving them that they're entitled to. They're getting even more money. Where is that money coming from?
I think the big question for me is that
you don't even know what to say.
no. It's the players' fault.
It's not the player's fault. I mean, what do you do as a player? You're going to say, no, thank you, give the money to the netball people.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like I said, as a player, you're not going to say no to the money.
But do you think they deserve it?
That's where I was getting. No, I don't think they deserve it.
I also don't think they deserve it.
And I think we've been tiptoeing trying to get to this answer, but no, I don't think they deserve it. Did they do better than what most South Africans expected?
Yes.
Yes.
Did they do good enough? No.
No.
And it's not like, it's the other thing if FIFA was giving them zero.
Yeah.
And
Makes
then
sense.
our government steps up and gives them something for their achievement.
Because they made it further.
Yeah,
than what
you
we
are
expected.
being paid more because you made it so far. You are being rewarded in line with what you did. It's not like our country has money to waste.
How much you want to bet that money? That's okay. No, leave that cut. Never mind. I don't want to. No. Once again, it's an update time.
The thing that really matters, which is our World Cup Fantasy League, we need to take a look at the standings. We need to. I don't want to, but we need to. Liam, go forth.
Okay, can we just scroll down to? Thanks.
What, you trying to scroll down to find my name?
Okay, so it's back to another FIFA update, FIFA Fantasy World Cup update time. It's a week later. We are almost in the round of 16, and some of us are closer to 16 than to 116. But anyway, so no, I can't do this.
In third place.
Hmm.
In third place, we have one half of the other half. And it's not me. Well done, Liam. Liam is currently on 93 points for this round, which is very impressive. Liam, you are playing a chip, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
What can you tell us about that chip?
So I'm playing the chip, which is the qualification booster.
Can you explain to us how that works?
So how that works is for every player that qualifies for the next round gets an extra 2 points.
That's brilliant. Maybe that's how you get 93 points in there.
Maybe it's a good selection of players.
Maybe it's a combination.
Look,
So-
I'd rather want to be on this half of the table than the other half.
100%. So Liam's on 93 points for the round and 314 points in total. And slightly above you, Liam?
Is Churchill's Boys on 65 points for the game week. And call it 14 points.
14 points, yeah.
14 points ahead. I believe Churchill's boys has one more player that must play. It's the same as mine. We both have Messi that must play, so it's kind of going to stay there for this week.
Who's your captain?
Haaland.
Oh.
So
and
even if-
Churchill's boys captain?
Haaland.
Okay, that helps.
So whatever happens, if we both got like this,
It's just that your chip can still make a few points difference.
yeah, literally 2 points.
But
If I captain Messi and Messi does something,
yeah, but tell me, how does that chip work? So if your captain goes through to the next round, you get double from the captain and an extra 2 points. Is it still 2 points or just 4 points because it's your
no,
captain?
I thought it was 4 points. It's 2 points.
It's still 2 points. Okay.
So regardless of whatever, it's your points double with your captain, and then it's
And
an
then they
extra.
add 2 on top. Okay.
So if you made a good selection and all of your players went through, so far I look good. What's 11 times 22? It's an automatic 22 points for me, which is quite cool. So another individual that is chilling on top over there, Chapman's Rovers, on 69 points at 339. Well done. Was the same individual that said I went too soon with my chip. He literally said in the words of Fast and the Furious, "Too soon, Junior. Too soon."
Did he say you played it too soon?
Mm.
You know what he told me?
What did he tell you?
He told me I'm the chocolate one.
Oh no, he didn't.
Yeah. For those of you who want to go spam his comment, I was attacked in our previous video on YouTube in the comment section. Chapman's Rovers, I know you're watching this. It's game on. Once again, you'll see Chapman's Rovers.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll see Chapman's Rovers very much in our Instagram comments and our YouTube comments these days. So please join Chapman's Rovers there because he's a bit lonely in the comment section. We can keep him company.
And then I think-
Moving along.
yeah, just to so we mentioned where the one half is laying, and then the other half of the year is not too far down. Is 3 places below the other half.
Just scroll down, yeah.
Yeah, just scroll down over there. Currently on 56 points, not too shabby. With I think how many players still to go?
I've got 1 to go.
And on 244 points in total. So
Yeah. So I've got 1 to go, and I think it's Messi. He's not my captain. And then I think the person behind me, above me, I think it's either Neo or Vincenzo. They captained Messi, so it's not looking good for me.
but there's still time to change your captain.
Yeah, but I don't want to change my captain because I captained Haaland, and he actually returned.
Okay.
I don't want to take that gamble.
Okay.
But like I told Chapman's Rovers, the last time I checked, there's still a few more games to go.
No?
Yeah, let us not get cancelled.
Yeah.
Anyway, so bottom line, we don't think Bafana deserve it, but you know what you think? What I think we deserve.
I think at least a like,
A comment.
but most importantly,
Subscribe. This has been the other half. See you next time.